After the Islamic rule and the decline of Mughal Empire, the most important happening in Indian history was the presence of British in it. Now we are going to discuss that how this British started their glorified colonialism in India. They came to India as businessmen and then finally they become the ruler of the country. So how that transition took place, what were the different incidents in between, and finally how India could gain its independence from the clutch of British. That is something will be our final part of this lecture on Indian history. So for the time being, we'll be talking about the establishment of British rule in India, and we start with the Deccan-Carnatic War. The Deccan-Carnatic War. So let us first discuss the background, the platform on which the British started establishing their colonialism, and it all started around 1740. At that time, both British and French were maintaining organized trade centers in India. British trade center was situated at Madras and the French trade center was situated at Pondicherry. As India was a pool of resources and the Indian socio-political atmosphere was business friendly, both British and French used to dream of conquering India. The platform was made when in 1740 the Austrian War of Succession broke out in Europe. These two groups engaged into conflict in India as well. The fuel was added when the spineless Deccan politicians called on the European powers to help them in their local conflict. That is how these two European business groups engaged themselves into Indian politics. The political background that led to the Deccan-Carnatic War was as follows. In 1743, Carnatic Nawab Dost Ali died, leaving the position vacant. This vacant position created the bone of contention between Anwaruddin, who was elected as Nawab by the Nizam, and Chanda Sahib, who was son-in-law of Dost Ali. In 1740, when Austrian War of Succession broke out, both British and French engaged themselves in war in India too. In 1746, French Governor-General Dupleix captured the British trade center Madras. Immediately, the British fleet shouted help from Carnatic Nawab Anwaruddin. Then the fleet of Anwaruddin was badly defeated at Saint Thome or Mylapore battle in 1746 by the French troop. In 1748, the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle brought the Austrian War of Succession to an end. Consequently, the First Carnatic War came to an end and Madras was handed back to the English. The debacle of Anwaruddin in the First Carnatic War proved the superiority of Dupleix in skill and diplomacy. He was inspired to establish a French domination in India. The next opportunity came to Dupleix very quickly when the Nizam of Hyderabad, Nizam-ul-Mulk, passed away in 1748 and left behind the vacancy of Nizam post. The vacant Nizam post was the bone of contention between Nasir Jung, the son of Nizam, and Muzaffar Jung, grandson of Nizam. British and French put their legs in this local political conflict, with an ambition to meet their own interest. Clearly, two rival groups were formed. On one side was the British-led alliance between British Anwaruddin and Nasir Jung. On the other side was the French-led alliance between French, Chanda Sahib and Muzaffar Jung. Finally, in the Battle of Ambur in 1749, the first group, that means the group led by British, and then Anwaruddin and Nasir Jung was defeated badly and Anwaruddin was put to death. Chanda Sahib, an ally of French, was established on the throne of Carnatic. In 1750, Nasir Jung was also assassinated and Muzaffar Jung was established on the throne of Hyderabad. In this way, Dupleix increased his influence in the Deccan domestic politics. Then started the plotting of Third Carnatic War. The peace between the French and the English in India proved to be short-lived. In 1756, there broke out 7 years' war in Europe, and before long, the two nations began to fight in India also. The French government sent a powerful army under the command of Count de Lally to fight the British in India. Lally captured the Fort St. George and decided to attack Madras, but unfortunately he failed in his attempt and was forced to retire to Pondicherry and was defeated by Sir Eyrecourt in the Battle of Vandibas in 1760. Mahi and Zinji were lost by the French in quick succession, and the war ended in 1763 with the signing of the Treaty of Paris.